The shuttle descended through the docking bay of Harmony Prime, the massive neutral station that served as the meeting place for the Galactic Council. Daniel Carter watched through the viewport as alien vessels of every shape and size filled the hangar. Some looked like organic creatures, others were geometric puzzles that hurt to look at for too long. First time seeing this many species in one place. Lisa Martinez asked from the seat beside him. She had been his aide for 2 years now, and she knew when he was deep in thought. "Just taking it all in," Daniel replied quietly. 3 years since first contact, and we are still the new kids on the block. The shuttle landed with a soft thud. Daniel stood and straightened his formal diplomatic coat. It was simple compared to the elaborate robes and armor he had seen other diplomats wear, but that was intentional. Humanity wanted to project humility and openness. Lisa gathered her datapad and followed him to the exit. "The council has assigned us meeting hall 7, she said. "It is one of the smaller chambers." "Of course it is," Daniel said without emotion. They were being shown their place in the galactic hierarchy. The station's interior was breathtaking. Crystalline walls shifted colors to accommodate the visual preferences of different species. The gravity adjusted in sections to comfort beings from high-gravity worlds and low-gravity moons alike. Hundreds of aliens moved through the corridors, most ignoring the 2 humans completely. A 4-armed creature with blue skin stepped into their path. "You are the human delegation?" "I am Ambassador Daniel Carter, representing Earth," Daniel said with a respectful nod. "This is my aide, Lisa Martinez." "I am Assistant Coordinator Threx," the alien said, his voice translated through the universal device everyone wore. "Follow me to the council chamber. Do not touch anything, do not speak unless addressed directly, and do not make any sudden movements." Lisa's jaw tightened, but Daniel placed a calming hand on her shoulder. They followed Threx through winding corridors until they reached an enormous set of doors. The chamber beyond was circular, with raised platforms for the council members and a small standing area in the center for petitioners. 23 council members sat on their platforms. Most looked bored. A few seemed actively hostile. At the highest platform sat High Councilor Vreen, an insectoid being whose compound eyes glittered in the dim light. "The humans may approach," Vreen announced, his mandibles clicking. Daniel walked to the center circle with Lisa close behind. He bowed respectfully. "Honored counselors, I bring greetings from Earth and gratitude for this opportunity to address you." A reptilian being on one of the lower platforms leaned forward. His scales were deep green and his eyes were cold. "I am Ambassador Zixter of the Korthan Empire," he said. "Let us dispense with pleasantries. Your kind seeks trade agreements and territorial recognition, yes?" "That is correct," Daniel confirmed. "We have prepared proposals that we believe would benefit all parties." "Benefit?" Zixter interrupted with a hissing laugh. What could a Deathworld species possibly offer civilized races? Several council members chittered or buzzed in what Daniel recognized as amusement. He kept his expression neutral. "Earth has unique resources and developing technologies that—" "Developing," another counselor said mockingly. "They admit their primitiveness." Daniel took a slow breath. "We are new to the galactic community. This is true. However, we are eager to learn and contribute. Our proposal outlines mineral rights in 3 unclaimed systems, cultural exchange programs, and joint research initiatives." Lisa activated her datapad and transmitted the documents to the council's network. For several minutes, the counselors reviewed the information. Most seemed to skim it dismissively. Vreen finally spoke. "Your proposals are noted. However, the council has concerns about human expansion. Your species has claimed 17 systems in contested space. With respect, those systems were unclaimed according to galactic law," Daniel replied. "We file proper claims and establish colonies within legal parameters. Zixter slammed a clawed hand on his platform. Legal parameters you barely understand. You Deathworlders think strength gives you rights, but you are children playing at civilization. We seek only what is fair, Daniel said calmly. Fair? Zixter stood, his impressive height making him loom over the chamber. Fair would be your kind, accepting guidance from established powers. Fair would be recognizing your place as junior members who should be grateful for any scraps we throw you. Lisa's hand moved toward her communicator, but Daniel shook his head slightly. Not yet. The session continued for 2 more hours. Every proposal was dismissed. Every attempt at compromise was rejected. The council treated humanity's requests with contempt, as if they were indulging a foolish child. Finally, Vreen raised a chitinous hand. This session is concluded. The council will review your proposals and issue a decision within 30 cycles. You are dismissed. Daniel bowed again. Thank you for your time, counselors. As they turned to leave, Zixter called out. Ambassador Carter. A word of advice. Teach your people humility. The galaxy is vast and ancient. Upstart species who forget their place often find themselves isolated, or worse. Daniel met the reptilian's gaze. I will convey your words to my government. They walked from the chamber in silence. Only when they were in a private corridor did Lisa speak. That was a disaster. They are not even considering our proposals. No, they are not, Daniel agreed. His voice was still calm, almost detached. So what do we do? Lisa asked. Report back to Earth and recommend we withdraw our claims? Daniel stopped walking and looked at her. We do exactly what we came here to do. We gather intelligence, assess their capabilities, and wait. Wait for what? For them to make their intentions clear, Daniel said. He noticed movement on the security feeds displayed on a nearby wall. Korthan vessels were repositioning around the station. Not enough to be obvious, but enough to be noticed by someone looking. They continued toward their assigned quarters. The station was a maze of different architectural styles merged together. Some corridors were wide enough for massive creatures, others required Daniel to duck. Back in their suite, Lisa immediately began encrypting her observations. I counted at least 40 different species represented, she said. Most seemed to defer to the Korthan Empire, the Vrexian Collective, and the Harmonious Unity. Daniel stood at the window, looking out at the stars. And they all view us the same way. Primitives from a violent world who got lucky enough to develop faster-than-light travel. Are they entirely wrong? Lisa asked carefully. No, Daniel admitted. Earth is a death world by their standards. Our gravity is crushing to most species. Our diseases are deadly. Our predators would terrify most of them. But they mistake where we come from for who we are. They think we are barbarians. They think we are weak, Daniel corrected. That is a different mistake entirely. A chime sounded at the door. Lisa checked the security panel. It is Threx, the assistant coordinator. Let him in. The 4-armed alien entered, looking nervous. Ambassador Carter, I come with unofficial advice. Leave Harmony Prime tonight. The Council is discussing sanctions against Earth. Some members speak of military action to contain your expansion. Daniel studied him. Why are you telling us this? Because I have studied your species, Threx said quietly. I know what you are capable of when cornered. I would prefer the galaxy avoid that outcome. I appreciate the warning, Daniel said. But we will stay. We came for diplomacy, and we will see it through. Threx's shoulders slumped. Then may fortune favor you, human. You will need it. After he left, Lisa looked at Daniel with worry. Should we take his advice? No, Daniel said. He moved to the communication console and began typing an encrypted message. But we should prepare for what comes next. What are you doing? Daniel finished the message and sent it on a secure channel, making sure Earth knows exactly what kind of galaxy we live in. Outside the window, more ships continued to gather. The stage was set. Soon, the Galactic Council would learn what it meant to mistake patience for weakness. Daniel Carter was many things. A diplomat was only one of them. Daniel spent the next morning reviewing intelligence reports in his quarters. Lisa had worked through the night, compiling data on Council military assets and political alliances. The picture was not encouraging. The Corthan Empire has 47 warships in this sector alone, Lisa said, highlighting a tactical display. Most other council members have pledged non-interference if conflict arises. They are building consensus for action against us, Daniel observed. Zixter is positioning himself as the voice of galactic security. A message arrived on the secure channel. Daniel read it and allowed himself a small smile. Earth acknowledges receipt of our reports. They are standing by. Standing by for what? Lisa asked. For whatever comes next, Daniel replied. At midday, they received a summons to return to the council chamber. Daniel dressed in the same simple diplomatic coat, though he noticed Lisa checking her concealed sidearm before they left. Old habits from her military days. The corridors seemed more hostile today. Aliens who had ignored them before now watched with open suspicion. Word had spread about the council's displeasure with humanity. They arrived at the chamber to find only 5 council members present, including Zixter and Vreen. This was not a formal session. Ambassador Carter, Vreen began, his tone flat. The council has reviewed your proposals. We find them unacceptable. May I ask what specifically? Daniel started. You may not, Zixter interrupted. Your species will withdraw claims from all contested systems. You will cease colonial expansion. You will submit to a Corthan Oversight Committee that will approve all future human activities in galactic space. Daniel felt Lisa tense beside him. Those terms are unreasonable. They violate established galactic law regarding sovereign species. Galactic law applies to civilized races, Zixter hissed. Not to Deathworld barbarians who stumbled into space. We have followed every protocol, Daniel said, his voice hardening. We have respected all treaties. We have. You exist at our sufferance. Zixter roared. That is all that matters. Accept our terms or face the consequences. Ring clicked his mandibles. The council will reconvene tomorrow for your formal response. I suggest you consider your options carefully. Dismissed. Daniel and Lisa left the chamber. They walked quickly toward their quarters, but footsteps echoed behind them. Daniel glanced back to see Zixter and 4 armed Corthan guards following. Keep walking, Daniel murmured to Lisa. Stay calm. They turned down a service corridor, hoping to lose their followers, but the Corthans matched their pace. The corridor ended in a storage area, poorly lit and empty of witnesses. Ambassador Carter, Zixter called out. I thought we might continue our discussion in private. Daniel turned to face him. I have nothing more to say until tomorrow's session. Oh, but I have much to say to you. Zixter advanced, his guards spreading out to block any escape. You Deathworlders need to understand your place. Words alone seem insufficient, so perhaps a more direct lesson is required. This is a diplomatic station, Lisa said, her hand moving toward her weapon. Assault of an ambassador is a violation of one of the guards struck her from behind. She stumbled forward, and Daniel caught her. Before he could react, 2 more guards grabbed his arms and forced him to his knees. Zixter loomed over him. Look at you! So fragile despite coming from your harsh little world. You think your precious gravity and violent history make you special. Daniel did not struggle against the guards holding him. He met Zixter's eyes calmly. Let her go. Your quarrel is with me. How noble, Zixter mocked. He struck Daniel across the face with the back of his clawed hand. The blow split Daniel's lip and sent blood running down his chin. This is what happens to species that forget their place. Lisa tried to stand, but another guard kicked her legs out from under her. She fell hard, her head striking the floor. "Lisa!" Daniel's calm cracked for a moment. "Do not worry about her," Zixter said. "Worry about yourself." He struck Daniel again, this time in the ribs. "Your kind will learn. You will withdraw from those systems. You will bow before the council. You will." His tirade was interrupted by an alarm. Lisa had managed to activate her emergency beacon before losing consciousness. The signal would bring station security. Zixter snarled in frustration. "No matter. The message is delivered." He struck Daniel one final time, knocking him to the ground. "Remember this moment, human? Remember what happens when you challenge your betters." The Corthans fled as footsteps approached. Station security arrived moments later, finding Daniel bleeding on the floor beside Lisa's unconscious form. The medical bay was sterile and cold. A Rexian doctor tended to Daniel's injuries, while Lisa was placed in a regeneration pod to heal her concussion. The station's security chief, a bird-like creature named Cree, took their statements. "This is a serious matter," Cree said, though his tone suggested otherwise. "Assault of diplomats cannot be tolerated." "Will you arrest Zixter?" Daniel asked, wincing as the doctor sealed a cut above his eye. "The situation is complicated," Cree replied. "Council members have diplomatic immunity. We must investigate thoroughly before taking action." "He attacked us with witnesses," Daniel said quietly. "What more do you need?" "The witnesses are Corthan guards," Cree explained. "They claim you provoked the altercation. It becomes a matter of who the council chooses to believe." "Of course," Daniel said. He had expected nothing less. The doctor finished his work. "You will heal, though you should rest. The female will recover fully in a few hours." After they left, Daniel sat alone in the medical bay. He pulled out his secure communicator and typed a message with steady hands despite the pain. "Protocol Valkyrie. Execute." The message was simple, only 3 words, but those words would change everything. He sent it on the most secure channel Earth possessed, directly to Defense Command. Within minutes, a reply came back. "Confirmed. Valkyrie is active. Ada 72 hours. Hold position." Daniel deleted both messages. He stood and walked to where Elisa was healing. Through the transparent pod, he could see her chest rising and falling steadily. She would be angry when she woke. Angry and ready to fight. "Soon," he told her sleeping form. "Soon they will understand." The door opened and High Counselor Vreen entered with 2 aides. "Ambassador Carter!" "I heard about the unfortunate incident." "Incident?" Daniel repeated flatly. "Yes, most regrettable," Vreen said, though his tone held no real sympathy. "However, after reviewing security footage, it appears the matter is not as clear as you suggested. Ambassador Zixter claims you made threatening gestures." "That is a lie." "Perhaps," Vreen acknowledged. "But he is a respected council member with decades of service. You are a newcomer from an unknown world. Who should the council believe?" Daniel looked at the insectoid being. "You are not even pretending this is about justice." "Justice is subjective," Vreen replied. "What matters is order. The council maintains that order. Your species threatens it by refusing to accept your proper place. This incident, unfortunate as it may be, demonstrates why humans cannot be trusted with full sovereignty. You are using this as justification for the terms you demanded," Daniel said. "I am explaining reality," Vreen corrected. "Tomorrow you will accept our terms. You will apologize to Ambassador Zixter. You will recommend Earth comply with all Council directives. If you do this, the assault charges will be dropped and we can move forward productively. And if I refuse? Reen's compound eyes glittered. Then you will find that the galaxy is a dangerous place for species without powerful friends. Harmony Prime is neutral ground, but accidents happen. Ships disappear. Colonies fail. It would be tragic if Earth suffered such misfortunes. The threat was clear. Submit or face consequences. After Reen left, Daniel sat down heavily. His ribs ached and his face throbbed. But none of that mattered. What mattered was that the Council had revealed their true nature. They ruled through intimidation and force. That was their mistake. They thought they were dealing with desperate diplomats. They thought humanity would bend rather than break. They had no idea who Daniel Carter really was. No idea what was coming. 72 hours. That was all he needed to hold out. Then the galaxy would learn that humans could be patient, could be diplomatic, could be reasonable. Right up until the moment they chose not to be. The message traveled across space at faster than light speeds, piercing through subspace to reach Earth in seconds. It arrived at Defense Command headquarters in Geneva, where Admiral Patricia Ford was reviewing deployment schedules. Her aide rushed into the office. "Admiral!" Priority Alpha message from Ambassador Carter. Patricia took the tablet and read the 3 words. Her expression hardened. Sound Protocol Valkyrie. All hands to stations. I want fleet commanders on secure channels in 5 minutes. Alarms rang throughout the facility. Personnel who had been running drills suddenly realized this was real. 3 years of preparation were about to be tested. Captain Gregory Stone was aboard the EDF Sentinel when the alert came. He had been expecting it. They all had. The ship was one of 50 gathered in the hidden asteroid base, designated Outpost Xerxes, and one of 500 spread across human space. All crew to battle stations, he ordered. Navigation, plot jump coordinates to Harmony Prime. Weapons, begin charging main batteries. Communications, establish secure fleet network. His executive officer approached. "Sir, are we really doing this?" "The general has called us," Gregory replied. "We answer." "The general." That was what they called Daniel Carter in the military. Not ambassador, not diplomat. General Carter had commanded Earth's defense forces through first contact and the tense years that followed. When the Galactic Council had demanded Earth send a diplomatic representative, Carter had volunteered. "Know your enemy," he had told Admiral Ford. "I will learn their strengths, their weaknesses, their arrogance." And now that knowledge would be put to use. At Defense Command, Patricia connected with her senior staff. 40 faces appeared on screens around the room, each representing a battle group. "Protocol Valkyrie is active," she announced. "General Carter has been assaulted by the Galactic Council. They have threatened Earth with sanctions and military action. We will not allow this." Commander Raymond Cole spoke from intelligence. "Admiral, we have been monitoring Council communications. They believe Earth has fewer than 100 military vessels. They are completely unaware of our true strength." Patricia allowed herself a cold smile. "Maintain that illusion as long as possible. All ships will activate stealth systems during approach. We hit them with everything before they understand what is happening." "Rules of engagement?" asked one captain. "Disable. Do not destroy unless fired upon," Patricia ordered. "The general wants to make a point, not start a war. We demonstrate overwhelming force, then offer them a choice." The fleet began moving. Ships that had been hidden in asteroid belts, behind moons, in the outer reaches of dead systems. Humanity had learned from its own bloody history. Never negotiate from weakness. Never trust assurances of peace without power to enforce them. The Council thought humans were primitives. They were right, in a way. Earth had achieved space travel through conflict and competition. Every technology had been tested in fire. Every system refined through trial and error. But that made them dangerous, not weak. How long until we reach Harmony Prime? Patricia asked. 72 hours at maximum speed, navigation reported. We will arrive in waves. First group in 68 hours. Full fleet assembled by 74. Inform all ships. Maintain communication silence except on secured channels. I want perfect coordination. When we drop into normal space around that station, I want it to look like the hand of God reaching down. Meanwhile, on Harmony Prime, Daniel Carter was being discharged from medical. Lisa had recovered and stood beside him, a bandage still wrapped around her head. You sent the message, she said. It was not a question. I did. So now we wait? Now we make them believe they have won, Daniel corrected. Let Zixter think his brutality worked. Let the Council think we are beaten. They returned to their quarters under heavy escort. Apparently, station security now deemed them a flight risk. Daniel did not argue. He simply thanked the guards and closed the door. What happens tomorrow? Lisa asked once they were alone. Tomorrow I refuse their demands, Daniel said calmly. I will tell them Earth rejects their authority. They will arrest us. Or worse. Probably, Daniel agreed. But they will not kill us. Not immediately. They will want to make an example. Broadcast our humiliation to all of humanity. Lisa sat down heavily. You are using us as bait. I am using myself as bait, Daniel corrected. You can leave. Take a shuttle back to Earth. No one would blame you. And miss the show? Lisa laughed bitterly. Not a chance, sir. I signed up to see this through. Daniel felt a surge of pride. Thank you, Lieutenant. She looked up sharply. He had not used her military rank in 2 years. You remember? I remember everything, Daniel said. Every soldier who trusted me. Every mission we ran. Every victory and every loss. I became a diplomat hoping to avoid adding more losses to the list. But they would not let you, Lisa finished. No, they saw diplomacy as weakness. Patience as cowardice. They thought because we came asking for peace, that we were incapable of war. So we showed them different? We showed them the truth, Daniel said. That humans prefer peace, but prepare for war. That we would rather talk than fight. But if forced to fight, we will not lose. The next day came too quickly. Daniel dressed carefully, choosing formal attire that bore no military insignia. Lisa did the same. They walked to the council chamber one last time. The room was packed. Every council member was present, along with dozens of observers. Word had spread about the assault and the council's ultimatum. They wanted to witness humanity's submission. Zixter sat in a place of honor, looking smug. His injuries from the altercation were minor and mostly healed. He had gotten away with attacking a diplomat. High Councilor Vreen called the session to order. Ambassador Carter, you have had time to consider our terms. Does Earth accept the Council's authority? Daniel stood in the center circle. His bruises were visible on his face. Lisa stood behind him, her own injuries clear for all to see. I have consulted with my government, Daniel said clearly. Earth's response is this: no. Shocked murmurs rippled through the chamber. No? Vreen repeated. You refuse. Earth will not withdraw from legally claimed systems, Daniel continued. We will not submit to oversight. We will not accept restrictions on our sovereignty. We are a free species, and we will remain so. Zixter stood. You fool! Do you think your defiance matters? Do you think your pathetic world can stand against the combined might of the Galactic Council? I think you are bullies who mistake patience for weakness, Daniel replied. His voice was steady, almost conversational. I think you have forgotten that civilized behavior is a choice, not a weakness. Arrest him, Zixter shouted. Arrest them both. Guards moved forward, but Daniel held up a hand. Before you do that, I should tell you something. My name is Daniel Carter, but my title is not ambassador. I am General Daniel Carter, Supreme Commander of Earth Defense Forces. The chamber fell silent. I accepted this diplomatic posting to assess you, Daniel continued. To understand how you think. To measure your capabilities. And I have learned everything I needed to know. This is meaningless, Vreen said, but his voice lacked confidence. What does it matter what title you claim? It matters because I did not come to you as a supplicant, Daniel said. I came as a soldier gathering intelligence. And now my mission is complete. Take him. Zixter roared. As guards rushed forward, proximity alarms began blaring throughout the station. Every screen in the chamber lit up with warnings. Multiple ships detected. Hundreds of them. Dropping out of faster-than-light travel. All around Harmony Prime. The council members rushed to view screens. What they saw made them freeze in terror. 500 human warships materialized in perfect formation. Each one bristled with weapons. Each one locked into tactical position with military precision. And on every ship's hull, painted in letters 3 meters tall, was the insignia of Earth Defense Forces. Daniel smiled despite the pain in his face. Gentlemen, ladies, and honored beings of all species, allow me to introduce you to my army. The council chamber descended into chaos. Council members shouted over each other while alarms continued to blare. The view screen showed the impossible. 500 warships where intelligence had claimed only dozens existed. This cannot be real. Someone shouted. Our scouts reported minimal military capability. Your scouts saw what we wanted them to see, Daniel said calmly. The guards have forgotten to arrest him in their panic. We have been building this fleet for 3 years. Every ship constructed in hidden facilities. Every crew trained in secret. Every weapon system tested far from prying eyes. Zixter's claws scraped against his platform. Impossible. We would have detected construction on that scale. You detected nothing because you were looking for nothing, Lisa said. She had moved to stand beside Daniel. You assumed we were too primitive to deceive you. That assumption was your first mistake. High Counselor Vreen tried to restore order. This changes nothing. We still outnumber you. The combined fleets of the Council can do what? Daniel interrupted. Attack? Go ahead. But understand that if you fire first, my ships have orders to respond with overwhelming force. Every Council world will face human retaliation. Is that what you want? A smaller counselor, a being made of crystalline structures, spoke up. General Carter, surely we can discuss this. Violence benefits no one. Now you want discussion? Daniel asked. Where was this desire for dialogue when Ambassador Zixter was beating me unconscious? Where was it when you threatened to isolate Earth? On the view screens, the human fleet shifted formation. It was a subtle movement, but every counselor recognized it. The ships were surrounding the station completely. Escape was impossible. Admiral Patricia Ford's voice came over every speaker in the chamber. This is Admiral Patricia Ford of the Earth Defense Forces. All Council vessels will power down weapons and remain in position. Any hostile action will be met with immediate response. You have 2 minutes to comply. Zixter slammed his fist down. We will not bow to terrorist demands. Then you will die with honor, Daniel said flatly. But your entire crew will die with you. Is your pride worth their lives? Vreen's mandibles clicked rapidly, a sign of extreme stress. All Council vessels stand down. Power down weapons. Do not engage. One by one, the council ships complied. The Corthan vessels were last, but even they eventually dimmed their weapon arrays. 90 seconds, Patricia's voice announced. All council ships are in compliance, maintaining defensive positions. Daniel touched his communicator. Admiral Ford, prepare boarding teams. I want Ambassador Zixter arrested and brought before this council. Belay that order. Reen shouted. You have no authority here. I have 500 warships that say otherwise, Daniel replied. But let us be clear. I am not conquering this station. I am not declaring war. I am simply demanding justice for an assault that your security forces chose to ignore. The general is correct, a new voice said. A Vrexian counselor stood. Ambassador Zixter committed assault in violation of diplomatic protocols. If we do not hold him accountable, we set a dangerous precedent. Thank you, Counselor Rax, Daniel said. He knew every council member by name now. That intelligence had been hard won. Zixter hissed. I refuse to submit to human justice. You will submit to galactic justice, Reen said quietly. Guards, take him into custody. You cannot be serious. Zixter backed away. I am a council member. You are a council member, Reen corrected. But you have brought shame upon this council. You attacked a diplomat under our protection. Worse, you have provoked a conflict that could destroy us all. Corthan guards moved to arrest their own ambassador. Zixter fought them, roaring about betrayal and cowardice, but they subdued him efficiently. Take him to holding, Reen ordered. He will face trial. Daniel watched without satisfaction. This was not victory. This was necessity. Thank you, High Counselor. But there is more we must discuss. Such as? Reen asked warily. Such as why Earth was forced to build this fleet in secret, Daniel said. Why we could not trust the Council to treat us fairly. Why we had to prepare for war while hoping for peace. He walked toward the Council platforms, ignoring protocol. You call Earth a death world. You call us primitives. But do you know why our world is so harsh? Why we evolved, surrounded by predators and disasters? Irrelevant, someone muttered. It is entirely relevant. Daniel's voice grew stronger. We survived because we learned to adapt, to plan, to prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. You saw our caution as weakness, our desire for peace as inability to fight. Lisa activated her datapad. Screens around the chamber displayed historical footage from Earth. Battles, wars, destruction. This is what we are capable of when we choose violence. This is what we hope to leave behind when we reach the stars. The images were brutal. Mushroom clouds. Bombed cities. Soldiers dying in trenches. The council members watched in horrified fascination. But you would not let us leave it behind, Daniel continued. You demanded submission, threatened isolation, attacked our diplomats. You forced us to remember what we are when cornered. We made a mistake, Reen admitted quietly. We judged you by our standards. We forgot that different species develop differently. Yes, you did, Daniel agreed. And now we must decide how to move forward. I did not bring this fleet here for conquest. I brought it to ensure respect, to guarantee that Earth will be treated as an equal. Captain Gregory Stone's voice came through communications. General, Corthan reinforcements are entering the sector. 27 warships on intercept course. The Council erupted again. The Corthan military is coming. They will destroy the human fleet. We must evacuate. Daniel remained calm. Admiral Ford, tactical assessment? Patricia's voice was crisp and professional. Corthan vessels are outdated designs. We can disable them without casualties if they engage. Recommend warning shots across their bows. Negative, Daniel said. Hail them. Let me speak to their commander. A moment later, a Korthan admiral appeared on screen. He was older than Zixther, with scars across his scales. I am Admiral Krenth. You will release our ambassador immediately. I cannot do that, Daniel said. He committed crimes against diplomatic law. But I do not want to fight you. Power down your weapons and withdraw. This does not concern your military. Everything concerning the Korthan Empire concerns our military. Then, we are at an impasse, Daniel said. Because I will not back down. Your ambassador beat me while I was restrained. He injured my aide. He threatened my species with extinction. If you attack to protect him, you validate his actions. Krenth's expression was unreadable. You speak with courage for someone surrounded by enemies. I speak with honesty, Daniel replied. I do not want war. But if you force it upon me, I will fight. And your ships will burn just like everyone else's. For a long moment, the Korthan admiral said nothing. Then, my nephew was always impulsive, hot-headed. I warned him his temper would cause problems. Your nephew? Reen asked. Yes, Krenth confirmed. Zixther's family. But he is also a fool if he thinks I will start a war to save him from consequences of his own actions. He looked at Daniel. General Carter, I will withdraw my ships on one condition, that my nephew receives a fair trial according to galactic law. You have my word, Daniel said. Then we withdraw. But know this, human. You have made powerful enemies today. Not all Korthans will be as reasonable as I am. The Korthan fleet turned and jumped to faster-than-light speeds. They were gone as quickly as they had arrived. Daniel let out a breath he did not know he had been holding. Admiral Ford, maintain defensive positions but stand down from combat alert. Confirmed. Reducing to yellow alert. He turned back to the council. That could have been a battle. Hundreds dead. Perhaps thousands. All because one being thought he could assault a diplomat without consequences. What do you want from us? Reen asked tiredly. I want what I came here for, Daniel said. Fair treatment. Recognition of Earth's sovereignty. Trading rights. Cultural exchange. All the things I proposed when I first arrived. And if we refuse? Daniel gestured to the fleet outside. Then, this becomes permanent. My ships will remain here. Earth will enforce its own interests. We will take what we need and ignore your protests. Is that what you want? No, Reen admitted. No, it is not. Then let us start over, Daniel said. Let us negotiate as equals. Let us build something better than what exists now. A harmonious unity counselor raised a tentacle. You speak of building. What would you build, General? A galaxy where diplomacy is respected, Daniel said. Where attacking ambassadors has consequences. Where junior species are not bullied. Where strength is used to protect, not dominate. Idealistic, someone muttered. Perhaps, Daniel agreed. But ideals backed by 500 warships are harder to ignore than ideals alone. The council looked at each other. Slowly, Vreen nodded. Very well. We will reconvene tomorrow. This time, Earth will be heard. Daniel smiled. That is all I ever wanted. The council reconvened the next morning in a very different atmosphere. Gone was the casual contempt. Every counselor who spoke to Daniel now used his proper title and rank. The human delegation no longer stood in the center circle like petitioners. They had been given a platform equal to the others. High Councilor Vreen opened the session. General Carter, the council has reviewed your original proposals. We find them acceptable as a foundation for negotiation. A foundation? Daniel asked. Not the final word? Negotiation implies give and take, Vreen explained. We acknowledge Earth's strength and sovereignty. However, there are concerns we must address. Such as? Lisa asked. She sat beside Daniel now, officially recognized as his second-in-command. Counselor Rax of the Vrexian Collective spoke. Your fleet represents the largest single military force any one species has deployed in 300 cycles. That creates fear among our members. Fear is understandable, Daniel acknowledged. But consider why we built this fleet. We came to you seeking peace and trade. We were met with mockery and threats. What choice did we have but to prepare for the worst? You could have trusted the council to protect you, a small counselor suggested. Daniel gestured to his still healing face. Forgive me if recent events have damaged that trust. There were uncomfortable shuffles around the chamber. No one could argue with that. What Earth wants is simple, Daniel continued. We want to be left alone to develop in peace. We want fair trading terms. We want our territorial claims respected. And we want assurance that diplomacy will be conducted with honor and respect. And in return? Reen asked. In return, Earth will not expand aggressively, Daniel said. We will participate in galactic affairs. We will share our technology and knowledge. We will even contribute to collective defense efforts. You would join the Council's defense forces? Someone asked skeptically. If the Council proves it can be trusted, yes, Daniel replied. But that trust must be earned, not demanded. For 3 hours they negotiated. Trade routes were discussed. Territorial boundaries were debated. Defense agreements were proposed and refined. Through it all, Daniel noticed something important. The Council was actually listening now. Finally, Reen called for a vote. All those in favor of recognizing Earth as a sovereign member of the galactic community with full rights and privileges. 20 hands, claws, tentacles, and appendages rose. Only 2 abstained. None opposed. The motion passes, Reen declared. Earth is hereby recognized as an equal member of the Galactic Council. Lisa squeezed Daniel's hand. They had done it. Not through submission, but through strength tempered with restraint. But Daniel was not finished. I appreciate this recognition. However, there is one more matter we must address. Yes? Reen asked cautiously. Ambassador Zixter's trial, Daniel said. It must be public and fair. The galaxy must see that even powerful beings face consequences for breaking the law. Agreed, Reen said. However, I propose we expand the scope of this trial, not just to judge Zixter, but to examine the Council's own failures. This caused a stir. What do you mean? Someone demanded. I mean, we failed in our duty to protect diplomats, Reen explained. We allowed intimidation to become policy. We permitted stronger species to bully weaker ones. Zixter is guilty, yes. But we enabled his behavior by turning a blind eye. Daniel had not expected this. You would hold the Council itself accountable? If we do not, then this recognition means nothing, Reen said. We must reform. We must establish new protocols that protect all species, not just the powerful. Over the next week, Daniel helped draft new diplomatic protection laws. Every diplomat would have guaranteed security. Attacks on diplomatic personnel would result in immediate sanctions. Independent arbitrators would resolve disputes. Zixter's trial became a spectacle broadcast across the galaxy. The evidence was overwhelming. Station security footage showed the assault clearly. Medical records documented the injuries. Even some of Zixter's own guards testified against him. He was convicted and sentenced to 20 cycles of imprisonment. His family was disgraced. The Korthan Empire issued a formal apology to Earth. But more importantly, the trial established precedent. No one, regardless of rank or power, was above the law. 1 month after the trial, Daniel stood on the observation deck of Harmony Prime. The human fleet had reduced to 50 ships. The rest had returned to their hidden bases, ready if needed but no longer required. Admiral Patricia Ford joined him via hologram. "Quite a view," she said. "It is," Daniel agreed. "Strange to think a month ago we were preparing for war." "Are you satisfied with the outcome?" Patricia asked. "Mostly," Daniel said. "We achieved our objectives. Earth is recognized. Our territory is secure. Trade is flowing, but I worry we revealed too much," Daniel admitted. "The Council knows our strength now. They will prepare countermeasures." "Let them," Patricia said. "We will always stay ahead. That is what humans do. We adapt, we innovate, we survive." Lisa approached. "General, the Council wants to know if you will remain as Earth's primary representative." Daniel considered this. "What do you think, Lieutenant?" "I think you are more effective than anyone else Earth could send," Lisa said honestly. "You understand both sides, military and diplomatic. But I also think you have earned a rest." "Rest?" Daniel laughed. "When have soldiers ever gotten rest?" "When they delegate," Patricia suggested. "Train a successor. Build a team. You have proven your methods work. Now teach others." That evening, Daniel addressed the Council one final time as Supreme Commander. "I am relinquishing my military command," he announced. "Admiral Ford will assume full authority over Earth's defense forces. I will remain here as senior ambassador, but my focus will be diplomacy, not military matters." "A wise decision," Green said. "Though we will miss your unique perspective." "Oh, I am not going anywhere," Daniel assured him. "I will still be here, still advocating for Earth's interests. I am just changing uniforms." Over the next months, Earth's presence in the galaxy grew. Human traders spread across Council space. Human scientists collaborated with alien researchers. Human artists shared their work with species who had never imagined such creativity existed on a death world. But always, in the background, there was the memory of those 500 ships. The reminder that humanity could be diplomatic or devastating, depending on how they were treated. 1 year after the confrontation, Daniel sat in his office reviewing reports. Earth had established embassies on 40 worlds. Trade had increased 300%. Cultural exchange programs were thriving. Lisa entered with her usual efficiency. "The Council is proposing you for the position of Deputy High Counselor." Daniel looked up in surprise. "They want me on the Council leadership?" "Apparently, your approach impressed them," Lisa said. "Strength combined with restraint. They think other species could learn from that. What do you think I should do?" "I think you should accept," Lisa said. "Someone needs to keep these bureaucrats honest. Who better than the human who reminded them what happens when they forget?" Daniel smiled. "Very well. Tell them I accept." That night, Daniel stood again at the observation window. This time he was not alone. Delegates from a dozen species joined him, all chatting about various projects and initiatives. A young Vrexian diplomat approached. "General Carter, may I ask a question?" "Of course," Daniel said. "And please, call me Daniel. I am not a general anymore." "Sir, Daniel, sorry." The young diplomat was nervous. "When you brought your fleet here, were you prepared to actually fight? Or was it all a bluff?" Daniel looked at him seriously. "It was not a bluff. Every ship was fully armed and crewed. Every weapon was ready. If the Council had chosen war, we would have fought. But you would have preferred peace?" "Always," Daniel confirmed. "War is the failure of diplomacy. But diplomacy without strength is just begging. We came prepared for both." The young Vrexian nodded thoughtfully. "My people are small and weak. We have always relied on larger species for protection. Perhaps we should reconsider that strategy. Perhaps you should, Daniel agreed. But remember, strength is not just military. It is also moral courage. The willingness to stand up for what is right even when it is difficult. As the young diplomat left, Lisa joined Daniel. Dispensing wisdom now? Someone has to, Daniel joked. The council needs to remember that peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the choice to resolve conflict without violence. And when violence is necessary, then you use overwhelming force to end it quickly, Daniel said. You do not draw it out. You do not make it cruel. You make it decisive, and then you offer mercy to the defeated. Lisa looked out at the stars. Do you think we have changed the galaxy? No, Daniel said honestly. The galaxy is too big, too old, too set in its ways. But we have changed this corner of it. We have shown that there is another way. That is something. Admiral Ford's latest report arrived on his datapad. The fleet continued to grow. New ship designs, better weapons, improved shields. Earth would never be caught unprepared again. But alongside the military reports were cultural ones. Human music was popular on 17 worlds. Human literature was being translated into 40 languages. Human cuisine was gaining fans across the galaxy. That was the real victory. Not the ships or weapons, but the realization that humanity had something valuable to offer beyond just the ability to